you've described that in July of this year you were robbed and violently assaulted in your own home. Investigating officers are now protecting the offenders, you say?
Well, yeah, I sort of...
Right. Can I just clarify, Mr. Ford, does this arise from the incident where you were filming people and there was an incident outside your home address? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, I won't say I was filming people, I was filming myself, well, not filming myself, but I had the camera operating, walking home from the pub.
That's the incident we're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, I've got the gist of it. At least we're talking about the right thing. Tell me what your views are exactly.
Well, the police are quite good in so far as, well, the basic background to it is that I was operating a camera walking home late from the pub, and I sort of reached a group of women walking slower, and I actually wanted to get past them, and one of the women behind me noticed that it looked like the camera was being operated to her, and she asked me if I was filming, and I said, yeah, but not you, I'm going home. And then she, just from then on, accused me of like filming underhand those people. There was like a group of about 4 or 5 women, young women, and I said, like, I'm not filming you, I'm going home. And she just like got hysterical, really. And I said, look, I'll turn the camera off, I'm not that bothered, I'm not out filming people.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I walked on ahead of them quickly because I thought I don't want a girl gang, harassing me any longer. So I left and I made my way to the takeaway, the kebab, which is on my way home to get some chips. And before I could get there, one of the women caught up with me, basically was having a go and said, look, I've stopped filming you and everything. And she ended up whipping the camera off me and taking it. And I thought, well, I'm just going to report that. And I just went to the takeaway, queued for chips. And the gang reached me as I was leaving. And I heard the young woman who had confronted me talking to other people, saying that guy's filming people. And it looked like she was like going to cause trouble, like get someone against me. And basically she came out, was still having a go at me, and I did actually sort of defend myself slightly. I had been drinking, but it wasn't like that aggressive. And I was saying, look, you've got my camera off, stop filming me. You shouldn't. I can't remember what I said, but then I walked on again, because again there's even more people causing trouble, and I managed to get home, put my chips on the garden wall, get my key out, and before I could get in the door, someone got between me and the light above the front door, started shouting at me, a young male, started shouting aggressively at me, and he must have pushed me down the stone steps at the front of my house, and I landed on my head on the pavement. And then I remember getting up and needing the loo and going into my house. I went all the way up to I got an ensuite on my room. And I came down again, and there was a police woman in the hall, and someone called an ambulance, and I spent the night in Yeovil Hospital. So the police came back to me fine about it, and they said, well, very basically, they said, we've got a name of the guy who might have done it, and he said that the women had phoned the police accusing me of aggressive filming, which is fair enough. I mean, they might have just gathered that. And I thought, right, and he said, we're trying to look at the camera, and we want to see what's on the camera, because whoever did what, it was like, at least it would have the audio on it. And he said, I actually, witnessed them walking up and down looking, and because the officer said that the women had said that they'd chucked the camera away, and then the second time they came back, they said, well, we can't find the camera. We've been told it was thrown into a flower bed, shrubbery, in front of the dormitory of Sherborne School, and he said it's gone. And then I said, well, okay, Yeah, they came back and they said, well, we had a lead about the guy who beat you up, and he said, well, it wasn't who was accused. And I said, right, well, you know who stole my camera then? And he goes, no. And he claimed that he didn't know he claimed, sorry, no, I just confirm, he left it saying that he didn't know the identities of the women who had accused me of oppressive filming. And I said, well, can't you even trace the call? And he goes, no, they must have got rid of a SIM card or something. And I just don't believe that at all.
Right.
I don't see how you can report... Well,
I'll explain to you what has happened, all right? Because I've got all of the documentation here. And in fact, I'm the officer who made the final decision in relation to
I just think...
I need you to listen.
I know that you ask for people's names when they report crime.
I need you to listen to me and I'll explain it, all right? On the 27th of July, we had a call at about 1:25 in the morning from a female whose name we have because she gave it to us. Whether it's right or not, I do not know. And she also gave us a mobile phone number. Whether it's her mobile number or not, I do not know. All right? She said that her and a friend and another male had basically run off because a male had been harassing them all evening. He was filming her and her friend outside the Cross Keys public house and all the way to the kebab house. Once at the kebab house, the informant, the girl who phoned, took his phone from him and he then kicked her friend and ran off. And they describe you, or this girl describes you. Okay? Now, slightly later than that, so that's at about 1:25. At just on 1:30, we get a call from a chap who said that in Bristol Road there appears to be some sort of debacle going on, okay, and unfortunately within this you have clearly been hurt, alright, and the officers then attend. Now, we've then got a bit of an update. I understand your flatmate Brian saw part of, but not all of what happened, and he's been spoken to, as have all of the neighbours in your road, to see whether we could get any further evidence to clarify what has happened, alright? The CCTV in the kebab shop has been reviewed. That clearly shows you kicking the female, and it appears, although we have no audio, but it appears unprovoked. Alright? So that's what the visual evidence shows. The female that we speak to on the night tells us that she has thrown away the camera in anger, that you were filming her and her friends in the pub and down the road. She's grabbed the camera off you, which isn't necessarily the right thing to do, I will agree with you, alright? And she's thrown it away. We have looked where she says she has thrown the camera and we cannot locate it. So either somebody else has picked it up or she's lied to us.
Well, she's picked it up.
Right? But the bottom line is this. We cannot trace the female who has called us. We cannot trace her phone number. When we ring that number, it no longer exists. And there is no way to trace pay-as-you-go mobile phones in this manner. There is simply nothing we can do in order to trace her. And I'll tell you what I wrote at the end of the crime report when I was asked to review it. I put that what we have in terms of facts are as follows. Mr. Ford was filming people in a public street without their permission, and apparently to their annoyance, and clearly they were annoyed.
Yeah,
right?
no, it was...
Listen to me.
Sure.
This could constitute harassment. However, since we cannot trace these people, we're effectively in a position where we cannot proceed with it. Alright? Mr. Ford is spoken to by a female he has filmed, and he kicked her. And there's no doubt that you do that because that is on film in the kebab shop. Mr. Ford has assaulted this female, but again we have no victim because again we cannot trace these girls, so again we will not proceed with that against you. So from this night so far, we've got two potential offences that you have committed. Alright? A female believed to be the victim of the above assault and her male companion chased Mr. Ford and there's an altercation outside Mr. Ford's address. It's likely Mr. Ford was assaulted. What we can't say is what exactly happened, because nobody has seen you, for example, be punched or pushed. All we know is that you arrived home, a male and a female were in the vicinity, and you ended up hurt. All right? However, and you've admitted this yourself to officers, and officers saw you on the night, Mr. Ford was extremely drunk and could give no details of the evidence of the various witnesses, both independent and non-independent. It's of no help, because nobody has seen what has happened, and you couldn't give an account.
No.
All right?
Okay, well, it wasn't down to my drinking, and it was pretty sober anyway, but I like I said, the guy who assaulted me got between... There's a light above our front door. No. Well, even if you do, I'm just saying that factually, there's a light above our front door. I was just about to get in, and he got in between me. So even if I was sober, I wouldn't have... The light behind wouldn't have...
And unfortunately, evidentially, as police officers, we can only deal with the evidence that we have. We can't make it up.
Yeah, no.
The only person who can assist in identifying the female victim of assault and suspects for assault upon yourself is the girl who phoned us, and whose mobile number we apparently have. However, she does not answer her phone. She isn't known to us on our local computer system, and she's not known on the national computer system, and she's not known on a voter's check in the local area.
Right.
So there is no way that we can trace her within reason. All right? And I
Currently, you mean?
We can't.
Currently,
How can we find her?
You say you got her she gave her name, did she?
Yes, but we don't know if that's her true name or whether she's made it up.
Right.
All I can tell
Okay,
you
but
is...
I mean, with
She
respect,
doesn't
the point of asking someone's name is to at least get an idea of... I don't think... Do you suspect the validity of everybody's name?
People lie to us.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Lying.
But if they're victims of crime, then it's in their interest to...
Apparently so. However, that being the case, we still cannot identify this girl. We have a first name, a surname, and a mobile phone number, and we cannot trace her. If we had been able to trace her, I have no doubt we would have taken this further forward. However, had we been able to trace her, that would have involved 2 accusations of criminal conduct against you. All right?
Yeah.
So, does that answer your question?
It does, yeah, because mainly I was in the dark. The officer came round. I mean, they were a bit rude, actually, because I knew before that I have a right to film non-aggressively in the street, and that's what happened.
Well, hang on a second.
I mean,
let me just be clear here. Aggressive or non-aggressive does not enter into this.
Well, yes, it does.
No,
because
it doesn't.
it is.
You cannot film people against their wishes, because if you do, it may amount to a criminal investigation of harassment.
Yeah.
All right?
I know.
You can't do it whether it's aggressive or non-aggressive.
Yes, I can do it non-aggressively.
No, you need to listen to me.
When there was an issue, I turned the camera off, and the point is, it was on film.
Yeah. Are you filming for
I'm not.
Why were you filming?
Because I got a new camera.
Right.
If someone if someone handed you a camera, you want to get to the next level.
You can go and film outside.
Yeah, I know. No, I've looked it up. There's an issue with the press and the paparazzi.
There is.
You can film in public non-aggressively because basically there's no difference between a bunch of tourists coming down here and snapping away. Anyone, especially if they're foreign, and anyone can go up to them and say, you're filming me. Exactly, yeah, I'm well aware of it. I didn't go out to harass people, I don't.
But you clearly upset these people.
Yeah, and I turned my camera off and told them, and practically showed them, their request, it wasn't that important.
You've got to understand, I'm not accusing you of anything.
They aggravated the situation, and as I'm here, I didn't film them all evening. I told you that I was walking home, and because I was walking faster, they were in the way.
We're not investigating it because we can't find it.
No.
If they'd made a complaint, and if they'd come forward, obviously we would have investigated it in the same way that we would have investigated the assault at the kebab shop, and in the same way that we would have investigated what had happened outside your address.
Yeah.
All right?
But just how it went, the officer sort of said, and couldn't give detail, presumably, that he couldn't trace the identity of that woman, and that wasn't entirely clear to me, because the other thing he'd said is that she'd accused me of a crime.
Yes.
I said, well, how is that anonymous?
Yes. But you can probably see now how it can be. And I can tell you now, I myself, on several occasions, tried this lady's mobile phone, having got the time from the officer who said I've taken it as far as I can. I thought, right, well, I'll try a few times and see whether I, at different times of the day, can get through. you now understand what has happened?
Yeah, no, there's no other way of finding out.
There really isn't. I mean, to be clear, if this is a murder investigation, there are undoubtedly other things that